Have you got great music, but it's just not getting the streams? Well, here are the 3 best ways to promote your music to ensure that you get the streams you deserve. Have you got high quality music, but you're not getting those streams? You believe that you should be getting millions of streams, but you can't even hit over 1,000. Well, you're not alone. Imagine waking up on the day of release and you've already hit over 1,000, and those streams keep on growing. Well, it's totally doable. No matter what size your audience is, you can get those streams using these 3 tips. These 3 things ensure that people go to your Spotify, they actually listen and become a fan. You're probably thinking, who are you to tell me how to get streams? How are you to know? Well, we're a music marketing agency that work with artists every single day. We've worked with hundreds of artists across the globe to get them streams, to get them fans, to get them followers. And it's resulted in artists getting signed to major labels, getting artists signed to some of the biggest booking agencies in the world, Spotify and Apple editorial playlists, millions and millions of streams. And we use these 3 things which I'm about to explain to you. In an industry which is oversaturated with music and musicians, over 40,000 tracks are uploaded to Spotify every single day. So there's a lot of competition. How can you get people to even care, to even press play? Well, let's start with tip number 1, and that's submit to Spotify via Spotify for Artists. This form that was brought in by Spotify ensures that your music can be heard by Spotify's editors, who are the ones that create the playlists. These playlists generate millions of streams, and the minute you get your track on one of these playlists, you can secure hundreds of thousands of fans, potentially even hit the Spotify viral charts. For those who don't know how it works, you basically have to submit your song with your distributor to be uploaded on a certain date. Make sure you do it in advance so you have time to actually pitch to the editors. We always suggest between 3 and 4 weeks. However, playlists like New Music Friday are actually curated a week in advance. So if you can't wait that long, then a week should be okay. The longer they've got to actually listen and maybe put you on a playlist, the better. So give it to your distributor. They'll put it on Spotify for Artists, so it's ready to go live on Spotify soon, and that's when you can pitch. Fill in the form in as much detail as you possibly can, but make sure to go more niche, because if you're clicking all the buttons, it's not going to go to every single editor. You want it to be more specific, so it goes to the right editors. And then within the pitch, right at the bottom, which where they ask you to sort of sell the track a bit, you really need to explain to them why you're worth even listening to. How are you going to get people onto the platform? What are your plans for promotion? And we've actually done a full video on how to submit to these Spotify editors via this form, and I'll make sure to link it below. And the example that we used in the video ended up getting an artist placed on New Music Friday UK, so it's definitely worth checking out, but after you've watched this video, of course. The second thing that you can be doing to get people to stream your music is social media advertising. There's a bit of a stigma attached to social media advertising, as if it's sort of cheating the system in a way, but it's definitely worth it. It definitely gets the results. It means reaching an audience which you couldn't possibly do before. And what you can do is get someone from Instagram, Facebook, and push them to Spotify to stream your music. And you can spend as little as $5 a day if you wanted to. You set a limit of how much you're spending, which means you can keep control over it and see how many people are actually clicking to your profile. Don't just take a screenshot of your Spotify profile or run the artwork as an ad, because it's not imaginative at all. You want something which people will either see on a story and swipe up, or see in the feed and click through to. So this could be a short promo video where you have credibility within it, so as featured in or as heard on, and then it can have logos with the blogs you were heard on or the radio stations you've been played on. Or potentially it could say for fans of, and you run this ad to people that are also fans of that artist. So if you think you sound like Billie Eilish, you could start the ad with for fans of Billie Eilish and run it to her audience. Things like that are so personal, so people are a lot more likely to engage with it because they like Billie Eilish. Why would they not listen to your song? Something that's visually pleasing and makes people want to watch more is a lot better for advertising than just a screenshot of something. We always suggest videos for these sort of things because it means that you can have the track playing in the background, and videos usually get higher engagement through ads. The most important thing to look at is the cost per click. This will show you how much it's costing for people to actually click your Spotify link, whether that is a swipe up or a direct click through on the feed. If you find it is really expensive, then experiment. Experiment with the content, the copy, and the audience you're pushing it out to. And if you don't know how to run ads, don't be ashamed. A lot of people don't. It can be quite complex, but we've done a really simple tutorial, which I'll link below, and that works for both Facebook and Instagram. The third and final way to make sure you're promoting your music to get the best streams you possibly can is to have the right release strategy. This might sound really strange because you might be thinking, how is releasing my music going to impact the marketing of it? But it definitely does. In a world where there is so much music, You need to ensure you're releasing it correctly. And the best way to release music correctly to get the most amount of streams is using singles. The reason for this is because, going back to tip number 1, you can submit via Spotify for artists. And if you're not releasing them as singles and you're doing a whole album, you can only pick one song to submit to the editors, which means all the others are being left out and they won't get the streams. If people follow you on Spotify, they might get one of your tracks on their release radar. And again, an album, not all of them are going to be on the release radar. Social media advertising, also, if you're swiping up to a track, you want it to be one single track. You don't know this artist, you're not going to give them 40 minutes of their time. A single, however, they might actually give it a go, especially if they've heard a little bit of it in the ad. So those are the 3 things that you can be doing to promote your music to ensure that you're getting the most possible streams you can. And if you've got any other suggestions, make sure to comment them below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.